Hey Tamers, and welcome back to another Decklist video. Today we got a Ragnaloard gacha deck, and I'm gonna be honest with you, even though it's a gacha deck, it doesn't really feel so much like a gacha deck. I've been working on this deck since it came out, and I really wanted to make it work, and I think I finally got a good list. So let's get into it. Right off the bat, we got 4 of the Sakuromon, if I'm saying that right, from the starter deck 13. This is the only Digi-Egg you need. Once per turn during your turn, when you play another Digimon with Legend Arms in its trait by an effect, gain 1 memory. So the part of this gimmick or gacha is when you do play a card, their effects allow you to reveal a card from your deck, and then you could potentially play it if it is a play cost of 7 or less. So then this would trigger giving you a memory. And that's pretty much for the Digi-Eggs. I do want to do a disclaimer here. I am not running any Tamers or option cards. This is strictly just Digimon. And I know it sounds horrible, like, okay, what about removal? What about memory, if you're gonna get memory choke? It'll work out, man. Just bear with me. Let's get into it. So with the rookies, I'm running 4 of the Subamon from starter deck 13. When you play this card, you can place it under one of your Digimon that's black or Legend Arms in its trait as its bottom Digivolution card. Then you may reveal a top card of your deck. If that card is a Digimon card with Legend Arms in its trait, and a play cost of 7 or less, you can play it without playing its memory cost. Then add the rest to your hand. So what this means is if you reveal a card and it's not a Legend Arms, or it is but it's a Mega and it's past 7 play cost, you can add it to your hand. So this is another way of either you're gonna play something that it's play cost of 7 or less, or it's gonna go to your hand. Either way, you kind of don't lose here. And then with the Inherit, when attacking, if you have a Digimon that has black or Legend Arms in its trait in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. So here we go. With the Inherit, we're already dealing with memory blockers. Any Digimon that has 3000 DP or less. So you could delete Sistermons. The blocker, if there's 3000 DP or less, when you attack, you swing, you delete a Sistermon, and then you can still attack because you're deleting the blocker. Next, we got 4 of the Ludomon from starter deck 13. Same effect as the Zubamon, except for this one, if your Digimon is red or it has Legend Arms. And then the Inherit for this one, during your opponent's turn, while you have a Digimon that's red or has Legend Arms in its trait in play, this Digimon gains blocker. So now we're having the Inherit of blocking. Next, we're doing 2 of the Spidermons. There's very mixed reactions on this card. I understand, just because you have to Digivolve for 1 from a rookie, and no one kind of really ever likes that. However, this card, I think it's pretty good. You actually need to run this, at least a few of them. So on play, by placing this Digimon under one of your Digimon cards with Legend Arms or Crossheart in its trait, as its bottom Digivolution card, de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, even though it's a 4 cost. So mind you, if you play a Zubamon or a Ludomon, you reveal a Spidermon. Now you play Spidermon for free, and you can de-Digivolve something by putting it underneath. You can put it back underneath a Zubamon or a Ludomon. So I'm just saying there's a way to deal with armor just in case you don't want to attack. You can de-Digivolve it, and there we go. The Inherit here, when attacking once per turn, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Legend Arms in its traits or Crossheart among them to your hand, place the rest of the bottom of your deck. Now this one, I like it because you can search, and even though it's 3 and let's say you reveal 2 that you need, that's where it kind of sucks. But however, it helps you go through your deck and get pieces that you may need, especially a Ragnaloard. If you're not drawing it quick enough, you just attack and you keep revealing, and then you pick up cards that you want. So that's why I'm running 2 of the Spidermons. And then the last 2 rookies that I'm running, I am running 2 of the Ludomons from BT3. This is a good searcher. On play, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, add 1 Ragnaloardmon and 1 Digimon card with Legend Arms in its type among them to your hand, place the remaining in the bottom. You basically get 2 cards. 1 Ragnaloard, which you're always going to want, and then 1 Legend Arms. So that's pretty much it for the rookies. Now for the level 4s, I'm running 4 of the Teal Ludomons from starter deck 13. On play, by placing this Digimon under one of your other Digimon that's red or has Legend Arms in its trait, as its bottom Digivolution card, one of your Digimon gains Reboot. So when you attack and you don't want to get deleted, even though this is a 5 cost, even if you're at 2, you're leaving them at 3. And if they have a memory set tamer, it really doesn't matter. So you just drop it, and now that Digimon's gonna have Reboot. And then his Inherit is gonna give a blocker during your opponent's turn. So next, we're running 4 of the Zuba Eagermon from starter deck 13. This one, by placing it under one of your other Digimon that's black or has Legend Arms in its trait as its bottom Digivolution card, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5000 DP or less. So now we can delete up to Digimon that have 5000 DP or less. That's pretty much champions. Then when attacking, if this Digimon has black or Legend Arms, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. So again, more DP removal, or more removal from deleting Digimon just by attacking. So I would run into some cases where if I attack, I could delete a 3000 DP or less. They would Digivolve into a champion, and they're exactly at 5000 DP. So then even if they leave me at 2, like I said, I would just drop the Zuba Eagermon, place it underneath one of my sources, and now I leave them at 3, but I deleted their Digimon, and they kind of have to start over. So it's pretty funny and it's pretty cool. Next, I'm running 4 of the Tia Ludamon from BT3. This one is actually pretty insane. I like this card for 2 reasons. One, it is a play cost of 4. So if they leave you at 1, because you can get memory choked here, you can just drop this and you will leave them at 3 instead of leaving them at 4 by playing another one. So that's one reason I like this card. Second reason is when attacking, if this Digimon is a level 7, trigger Digivolve 1. That's all I gotta say about that. You attack with your Ragnalord, you can Digivolve something. That's it for my champions. I'm running 12. Moving on to ultimates, we got 4 of the Raji Ludamon from starter deck 13. I do really like this card because his own effect is during your opponent's turn, this Digimon can't be deleted by your opponent's effects. So they can't Gaia Force it, they can't do anything to it. They could decrease its DP, they could Digivolve it by your Digimon's effect, but they can't really get rid of it via Gaia Force, right? So that's pretty cool. It kind of helps you stay on the board and get a Mega out there. And then what we really want from this card, it's the inherit. End of your turn, you can DNA Digivolve by playing for its cost. So this kind of makes it more aggressive and you're able to get your Ragnalord out really much faster. And then we're running 4 of the Duramon from starter deck 13. This one, when this Digimon will Digivolve into a card in your hand that's black or has Legend Arms in its traits, reduce the Digivolution card by 1. Now all your Megas are going to cost 1 less. You're going to reduce it by 1. And then the inherit is the same as the Raji. You can DNA Digivolve at the end of your turn. And then to top it off, I'm running 2 of the Raji Ludamon from BT3 as well. This has a play cost of 6, so it will trigger obviously because it's a play cost of 7 or less. And then his inherit, when attacking, if you're a level 7, you can Digivolve 1. So now you got him and you got the Ludamon right here. You attack, you're Digivolving 2. And then mind you, these are 2 different inherits, right? Even though they trigger at the same time, you can use this effect to Digivolve one Digimon and use this one to Digivolve another one. So it's pretty busted. Pretty busted. So we are running 10 level 5s. Now let's move on to the level 6s. For the level 6s, we're starting off with Durandamon. Durandamon, starter deck 13. Your turn, once per turn. When one of your effects places a Digimon card underneath this Digimon, it gets 3000 DP and security attack +1. So when you play something underneath, you do get 3000 DP and now you have security attack +1. When attacking, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play one Digimon card with Legend Arms in its trait and a play cost of 7 or less among them without paying its memory cost. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck. So now you can see is when you attack, you're triggering that effect all the time. So long as you play something with a play cost of 7 or less and add it underneath, now you can get that inherit. Sometimes I want to do it and I actually don't place them underneath because I want to start building my other stack to DNA. Then the inherit for this is probably what's most busted. This is probably the best inherit that Ragna can get. While this Digimon is Ragnalord, it doesn't activate security effects on option cards, it checks. So that's pretty nice. You can't check any Gaia Forces, you can't check any Crimson Blazes, you can't check any memory boosts, any blazing memory boosts. So that's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. Then we are running 4 of the Briwi Ludramon. This card, I went back and forth on running how many. Eventually I did stick to 4 because he actually has some pretty nasty effects. Even though it costs 4, you can reduce it by 1 with the ultimate that we talked about. So this one, once per turn, when one of your effect places a Digivolution card under this Digimon, your opponent's effects can't delete this Digimon or return it to its owner's hand or deck until the end of their turn. So this gives you protection when you place something underneath. And sometimes I found myself wanting to play this one more than Durandamon because sometimes, if I get memory choke and I'm at 1, you can Digivolve this even if it's for 4, you're still playing out his 1 Digivolving effect. You place something, place it underneath, and you're still getting that protection. So that's why sometimes I prefer to play this one. If I have the memory to continue my turn, I'll go into that Durandamon. When you Digivolve, you reveal top 3 cards of your deck. You may play one Digimon with Legend Arms in his trait or a play cost of 7, and then place the rest at the bottom of your deck. You can see the whole gimmick here is reveal cards from your deck. If it's a Legend Arms play cost of 7 or less, you can play it, and then you can trigger their on-play effect. So it can get really nasty, and you can flood the board pretty quick. The inherit here is on your opponent's turn. While this Digimon is Ragnaloard, it isn't affected by the effects of your opponent's Digimon. That's all busted. So I was playing against Witch, and he was using Venus. He couldn't really do anything against Ragnaloard because he couldn't give me the minus security attack. And so my Ragnaloard was just there, just swinging. So unless you swing over Ragnaloard, there's really nothing you can do to get rid of it, right? It doesn't check any option cards. And then on your opponent's turn, no Digimon effects can affect the Digimon. So it basically becomes like a sort of a mother, so we can call him father, right? So obviously, of course, Gaia Force does work on Ragnaloard during your opponent's turn because it is, option cards do work against it. So just be mindful of that. Then the last 2 megas that I'm running, we're actually running 8 megas here. We're running 2 of the Black War Greymons. And oh my, this card is so good in this deck. And I've been thinking of bumping this up to 3, but it has been working out for me so far that I'm still just playing it like this. You can obviously run more of these if you want. So why is this card so good in this deck? It's a black and red Digimon card, and if you've been paying attention or if you've read the cards closely, you can see here. So for example, the Ludomon, it says you can place it under one of your other Digimon that is red or has Legend Arms. Black or Greymon is red. The other cards either say if the Digimon is black or red. This dude is both. You can place them underneath them and you don't have to worry about it. Just like the other megas, because they are Legend Arms, even though they're one color, they're Legend Arms, so it works for them. Works for Black War Greymon too, so it synergizes really well. Not to mention with the Black War Greymon, when you Digivolve, if you have red or black, you can delete a Tamer or Digimon with a play cost of 6 or less. So this really helps you delete Tamers off the board. It helps you delete Digimon if you want, and it's just busted. And then all turns once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, you can unsuspend it. So what's really nice about this is if you do attack, right, you delete something, it unsuspends, you're still going to get all those inherits. You'll get blocker, etc. Delete Digimon with 3000 DP or less, which would help trigger his effect if you're deleting Digimon, right? And then not to mention the Uromon is actually going to help reduce the cost, because if it's black or Legend Arms in his traits, reduce the Digivolution card by 1. It's black. So now you're going to Digivolve on top for 3 instead of 4. That's busted. That is busted. So those are the megas. Now let's get into the level 7s, and we're running 4 of the Ragnalords from starter deck 13. I was playing the original Ragnalord, and I think that's doable, but the way that I made this deck, I made it just to be able to DNA and get into this guy as quickly as possible. And the other Ragnalord does work, but if you end up Digivolving into it and then you end up having another mega, now you're like, damn, I could have DNA'd. So it works and it doesn't work, if that makes sense. You could definitely do one with the other one. I used to have 2 Ragnalords of these and then 2 of the old ones, but then I found myself always wanting to have him in my hand because I had everything in play to DNA, and I couldn't because I had the normal one in my hand instead of this one. So I just went for the 4. So this Ragnalord, DNA Digivolve from a level 6 red and a level 6 black. If you do that, it costs free. Now when you Digivolve, this card gets Blitz, and for every 4 cards that this card has as its Digivolution sources, you can delete 1 Digimon with a play cost of 20 or less. And then if you did that, you trash 1 card from your opponent's security card. Sometimes I have 9, sometimes I have 10. So you can always, more than likely, you'll delete 2 Digimon with a play cost of 20 or less, just for DNA Digivolving. You do that, and now you're trashing 2. Then, all turns, once per turn, when a card is removed from a player's security stack, unsuspend this Digimon. You do that, you trash 2, you swing, you remove the card from the security stack, now you unsuspend, and you could leave it like that in case you want them still to to be a blocker and you don't want him to get deleted or whatever, or you can swing again. And now you just check. You basically took 4 security cards in that one turn. So it's crazy. It is crazy. I absolutely love this Ragnalord. He's awesome. Then the last 2 level 7s that I'm playing, we are doing, of course, 2 of the DEKCLIST. It just helps with aggression. It helps with whiteboards. Now, if you don't have DEKCLIST or you don't want to run them for whatever reason, if you just want to run one, that's fine. But you've seen all the searching that you do. It's gonna be possible that you won't be able to get this. So that's why I'm sticking with the 2. If you don't want to run this, you can obviously substitute this for 2 more Black War Greymons if you want. You can substitute it for maybe just 1 and play another Black War Greymon, or maybe you can actually do the other two Ragnalords if you'd like. But the DEKCLIST is just too good not to run, especially in this deck where you don't have removals, right? Besides the Ragnalord and delete 5000 DP, 3000 DP. Yeah, that's all I could really say. So those are my level 7s and that's the deck. All right, so let's do a little combo here. And again, the combos here are kind of a little hard to explain just because it is gacha, right? So it really depends on what you got in your deck for the most part. Let's say you have a Duramon, you're at 2. You can go ahead and Digivolve into one of these 2, right? So it doesn't matter because they're going to get reduced. More than likely, since we're at 2, let's say we're just going to go into the Randomon. It's going to reduce it by 1, you're going to go to 0. So now let's go ahead and swing, right? So we do swing, and then we activate his effect. So we reveal the top 3 cards, and then we can play one. So we got a Ludomon, we got another Black War Greymon, and then we got a Teal Ludomon. So obviously we can play any one of these 2. But now here what I'm going to do is, let's say you don't want to give a blocker for whatever reason. If you play this Ludomon, now that Ludomon, and these go back to the bottom of your deck. Now that Ludomon's on play triggers, right? So let's say I wanted to see a level 5 and I didn't. I only saw a level 4. So now what I'm going to do is use Ludomon's effect because he got unplayed. It's going to go underneath Randomon. So now the Randomon's effect triggers, and now check 2 for 14. Ludomon's effect is going to trigger first, and then I'm going to reveal a card, and now there we go. We got our level 5. It's going to play. The inherit of the egg is going to go off, so now we're going to gain a memory because we did play one from an effect. We conduct our checks. Okay, he does survive. Now we got our level 5, and now what we could do is, if we don't got Riwi Ludramon, you can go into Black War Greymon for 4 because he's black. Vice versa, if you didn't have this one and you had that one, now he's red. So you can see why Black War Greymon is very beneficial to this deck. So in this case, we do have the Riwi Ludramon. So we go into the Riwi Ludramon, we leave him at 3, play out his when Digivolving effect, reveal the other cards. You can play this, and now you can place this underneath here to give him reboot, or in this case blocker. Now, end of your turn, you can go ahead and DNA. I like to just leave them on the side because your stacks do get really nasty. And now you got your Ragnaloard. Now you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You got 9 sources in the bottom. You can delete 2 Digimon, trash 2 sources. So then you go ahead and swing once. You do remove something from the security stack, and now you unsuspend, and now it is their turn. So you did all that with having 2 memory. You could see why I don't run Tamers and option cards is because they'll get in the way of revealing what's in the deck, and then you're really not going to be able to play it. So because of that, I chose to not run any options or Tamers. And that's just one way it could work, but you could see all the different amount of combos that you could do by revealing stuff and then just keep adding underneath, and then playing level 5s, going to 6s, and then DNA, even though it passes your turn. So there you go, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Try this deck. It is very, very fun. I think, honestly, this is a very high 2, low 1.5, because this deck is just, it's busted. All right. And I'll leave you guys some videos to watch, and I'll see you guys in the next video.